Okay, let me see if I can summarize this. So we did everything, I did everything repetitively to get to the stropping, and I learned with the 2 degree offset that I had a very distinct dark mirrored edge almost to it right above the shoulder. And I even talked about this with my sharpening buddy. He noticed it too. And because of that, I started lessening my offset. First, I did it by a half a degree at the beginning because 2 degrees to 1.5 isn't as much a difference as, say, a half a degree to 1 degree. So I took big swings at it a half a degree as I worked down, doing my stropping with each knife that I stropped, and kept looking at it as I'm working with the scope, USB microscope, magnified to see that mirror that I noticed it. And I want to tell you that when we're working in edge and we're working at that precision, if we're working like I'm working, that I'm setting the set angle and I'm working that precisely with magnification and with the experience that I have that maybe others are working towards. The wicked edge gives us that precision when we have the manual dexterity, the handhold on the stones and the pressure, and we know what we're doing. It gives us that precision, that control to put it right where it is. And you're looking that closely on that mirrored edge to see how mirrored it is. We're getting really discerning. And I like that. I'm like that too. So that's where I saw that shadow. The bevel that we're working precisely, as keen, as crisp as we want that apex to be, because we're working the bevel, that shoulder, if we're working the knife well, that shoulder can be crisp too, like that. Not a sharp point because the angle change is not like this. But when the strops hit it in that up and off motion, it shows itself more with a dark line there. And by offsetting the stropping angle, we're concentrating that pressure there. And as we're learning to go up and off and lift away and follow through so as not to round off the edge, or at least maintain full flat contact, the up and off comes from teaching a technique of lessening the pressure, because the tendency when we strop across a knife is to apply pressure and roll over the edge. So by teaching people a 2-degree offset, this is where it came from. That made the stropping technique so that a lot of people could use it, because we protected them from rolling. That was the intention. By suggesting the offset, you're having a better success rate, because if you didn't suggest that at the beginning, people would be saying, oh, I can't strop, it ruins my edge. So if you tell them from the onset that it's suggested a 2 degrees offset will help you prevent rolling the edge, and then you can dial it in, because for me, I don't want to do any offset because that's adding a step and extra work and another angle to change. So if I can take my stones off and put my strops on at the same angle, I'm set. I'm happy with that. So that's why I worked with the scope and looked at it, and I saw that I can strop at the same 0 degree offset, the same set angle as I sharpen. Now the stropping pressure, that's another conversation for another day, because I strop with a pressure that I think is a pretty good amount of pressure, and I know other people that describe their stropping as whisper light. Now I will strop with more pressure with the higher grit strops like the 5 and less pressure on the .05. And I'm just going to say one thing, that you're putting a lot of effort into strops, and I commend you. I didn't know that there was anybody out there that had as many pairs of strops and grits as I do, but obviously you're mixing pastes and emulsions and going to some effort to follow that progression. So you're looking for a mirrored edge, and it's a nice knife and you deserve it. So try these different things. That's the art of sharpening, to fine tune. We're passing on suggestions. Again, it's all subjective. But by going back to the first video, by keeping everything that I do, each step, it lets me see where the breakdowns are, because everything is so repetitive. Because if this whole step was wrong, the whole system would have broke down. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to interact.